Now then guys, how's it going? Hopefully you're all doing well. I've had to position the camera slightly differently because the sun is right in my eyes on that right hand side. I'm going to start this video with a little bit of a moan really. I'm always honest and decent, and I would never drop a company in it unless I was fairly unhappy with the customer service. I always give companies an opportunity to put stuff right, and I never like to go public or put anything on my YouTube, because obviously you've got to be careful what you say, because obviously you've always got to give people an opportunity to put stuff right, otherwise you can get done for slander. And I just want to say the rep has been very good to me, and I don't think it's been fair the way the rep's been treated in this situation. But I'll get into the story now. What it is, I fitted a Worcester 5070 oil boiler approximately 10 months ago. My service engineer went to it, a very experienced service engineer, and found that the baffle, well, we called it a baffle support, Worcester don't call it that, but whatever you call it, the bit where the baffle slides in and out of, it's all been warped. It's only been spot welded in 3 places, so it's making it extremely difficult to remove the baffle. I think that's a sensible thing to contact Worcester about. Obviously it's a fault. It's very difficult to get the baffle in and out. Obviously, so we took some pictures, we contacted Worcester, waited for a response, which we never actually received, but that's a little bit I'll add in later. So yeah, obviously the customer's a bit unhappy, because obviously they've spent a lot of money on a boiler, and they are expensive boilers. You are paying a premium for obviously the customer care and everything that goes with it, and the service engineer, my service engineer, can't get the baffle in and out. I'll post a little picture of what I'm on about up here. So yeah, I contacted the rep, said basically, can you chase this, can you find out what's going on? And to be fair, the rep is absolutely fantastic. He's a credit to Worcester and the company, in my opinion. He's very good. He always sorts out problems. Obviously, in the business that we're in, we always get you get problems. You know, every manufacturer gets problems. It's not unheard of, but it's how you deal with that problem that sorts the good companies from the worst companies, if that makes sense, if that's a proper word. So it's how you deal with the problem. We get problems when we install systems. You know, you can have little issues, but you always go back and sort them for the customer. At the end of the day, it's the customer service, you know. So the rep phoned me 2 days ago. Worcester won't email me the response. I would put the response up here, but Worcester won't email me. They've let their rep do the dirty work for them. But what he said is they're not going to be going back to the boiler. Well, they haven't even been to the boiler. They're not going to the boiler because they don't see it as an issue. We can still get the baffle in and out, and it's not an issue basically. They have changed the design, but they won't be going to that boiler, which I think is disgusting basically, because next year my service engineer says you won't be able to get that baffle out. It's so warped on the rail. Obviously I would post the response, but Worcester hasn't even bothered to respond. So yeah, that's why I'm posting the video really. I always give people an opportunity to sort stuff. Obviously they've chose not to sort it, so I just wanted your guys' opinions, and you see if that's good enough really as a company. And as I say, I was even more annoyed that they let their rep do the dirty work. I don't want to drop the rep in it because he wasn't supposed to tell me what Worcester's response is, but basically they don't see it as an issue. It's not a design problem, even though they've changed the design, and they won't be fixing it basically. What they've said is for me, when we do the service, obviously to bend that rail back into place, which is not, that product's not fit for purpose. What it might be now that I have to go and change that boiler with, obviously I'll end up having to cover the cost of it, because it's not fit for purpose for the customer if we can't service that boiler easily without getting the baffle in and out. And that's why I'm posting the video. I mean, if Worcester see this, fair enough. If they don't see this, fair enough. I am insured on my insurance for stuff like this, and obviously they will go after Worcester obviously to recoup their costs. But yeah, if you can't service the boiler to manufacturer's instructions, the thing's been installed to manufacturer's instructions. If you can't service it to manufacturer's instructions, the product's not fit for purpose. You shouldn't be having to wrestle stuff in and out because the welds have failed. It's literally been spot welded in 3 places. As I say, I don't want to drop the rep in it because he's been fantastic all the way through. It's not his fault that boiler's failed. He didn't make the thing. All he's been basically given is the dirty work. I say I'm not going to go on and on and on and on and on about it, but yeah, it's not fair the way. I would never leave one of my members of staff to deal with a customer, especially if you know they're a bit unhappy. Luckily I never really get angry or swear or anything like that. It's just not worth it. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know what's going on with that one. And as I say, they were supposed to ring me yesterday, but they never rang me, so that's why I thought I'd post this video. Alright, so yeah, we'll crack on with the episode. And yeah, hopefully my day gets a little bit better. Now then, I've just sat down to edit this week's video, and you cannot hear a thing that I'm saying. I think it's because I was working in such a noisy environment basically my audio has been drowned out. Some people will say that's a good thing actually, but anyway, what I'm going to do is add the audio on after, like a voiceover type thing. It's not how I normally do things, but the job was quite an interesting one, so I sort of want to show the process, even if you don't get the whole footage, if that makes sense. You'll sort of get the gist of it. It was, as I say, it was quite interesting. I'll just quickly explain what it was. We was just putting some flow meters on and some heat sensors on some industrial pipework. It was all 4-inch and 6-inch stainless steel. I cannot actually pipe weld, so one of the other lads actually came and gave me a hand, but I was there mainly to drain down and stuff like that, and help lift all the pipework and stuff. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll crack straight on. As I say, some people might not find this interesting at all, some people will find it really interesting, but what we will be doing is back on domestic next week. We'll be following on from last Friday's video where we're putting all the soils in and lowering all the waste, so that'll be an interesting one, hopefully. So yeah, just a little bit of a variety of stuff, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. What I'll do is just unmute the audio for a couple of seconds so you can hear how noisy this place is. Obviously we've got ear defenders and stuff like that, and we wear all the correct PPE, but what the big boiler is a 1300 kilowatt Wiesmann boiler, and that feeds into the combined heat and power unit. So that this boiler actually runs on gas. We need to try and make it run on biogas because you can imagine it's so expensive. But yeah, I'll unmute the audio, and hopefully you'll be able to hear what I'm on about. So my first job was actually to drag all the cables across with the electrician. We're still waiting for a few bits on the first sort of morning, because we didn't have them on site. They were actually supposed to be delivered on the Friday, but we turned up on the Monday, and then they said obviously they was going to come on the Monday, which was a bit of a bummer because we couldn't drain anything down until we had all the stuff on site. So we just helped the electrician basically pull all the cables in. He needed a hand anyway, so it wasn't wasted time. So you'll see like the mains board and stuff, it confuses the hell out of me, all these cables and stuff, but he knows what he's doing. I think these are more just sensor cables from the heat meters into the mains board. Literally, you see like the mankiest pair of steps in the world as well. That's all covered in chicken crap basically. God knows how like the electrician works on that, I have no idea, but fair play to him for cracking on with it. When we drained down, we saved as much water as we could. Obviously we couldn't save it all because you always get a little bit left in your pipe, but it's all demineralised, I can't even say that word, or mineral water basically, so it's got no impurities in it. So as you can see in one of the clips, it's so clear when it's coming out. It's not like normal heating water where it goes all manky and scabby and black. It's literally crystal clear. It's got no inhibitors in, it's just pure water we put into the system to help stop corrosion and rot and stuff like that. It wasn't actually a difficult job, to be fair. As I say, I can't stainless weld, but when we got the pipework drained, it was literally a case of unbolting it from the flanges, taking it away into the workshop, which was on site, and literally welding everything up. So the good thing with this, we actually had flanges right where we needed them, so we could literally unbolt, take it away. It makes it far easier to work on. You haven't got to cut anything in situ and worry about sparks or flames or anything like that. It just makes life so easy. Well, you can probably hear me on this bit. It's a little bit quieter in the workshop. What we've got to do is drill, and we've got to weld pocket on here for the meter to go into, so it's just a sensor. Robbo's just gone to get the pockets. This is stainless, so we'll drill this out, weld that on. That's what comes on the top one. We've got to weld some flanges on, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So these are the pockets we've got to try and weld on, so that'll go in there like that. So it's so noisy in there, I'll have to do all the voiceover after, but yeah, get that on there like that. It should be good. So these are the sensors, that's for the smaller pipe, and I don't know where the longer ones have gone. Oh, they're the longer ones for the bigger pipe. So they're the meters, and then the probes just plug in, and it just gives it a reading then. So easy enough. So we've drilled a hole in that, or Robbo has. It's just going to weld that, wherever it's gone. Don't even know where it's gone, but basically we're welding a socket on there, so that temperature probe, or the flow probe will go in there then. So we actually got all the first circuit all filled back up, so we only got different sections of the plant shut down at the same time. So we had no leaks on it. Robbo's a really good welder, to be fair to me. So we got that one all tidied up, all the lagging riveted back on, and then we moved on to the second one. The second one was a 6-inch stainless steel. We got dead lucky because all we did is cut 300mm section pipework out from the flange and then just welded the old flange back on. There was already a pocket on the return that we could utilise, and we just welded a new pocket on the flow and then filled it back up with a transfer pump. Really, again, no leaks, everything lagged back up, all the plant back up and working, no aggro, no fuss. Yeah, so everybody was happy really. Nice job in the end. This is me just venting the pipework through. There's no AAVs on this, it's just got lever valves and plugs. It's just far quicker on big pipework, so literally just crack it open, wait till you get water. It doesn't matter if you spill a drop on the floor in places like this, nobody's ever going to know. And yeah, out the door really, with no leaks.